Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, because we learn and we grow together. With that being said, y'all, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla, and as you can see, y'all, Tesla has been this is interesting to have this yesterday, this sell-off back to the downside from a 284 down to a 274, only to come back up and have trouble at that 50 EMA around the 283 area. And as you can see, we got rejected there and came back down. So it looks as if Tesla is declining. We are under the 5 EMA as of now on this 30-minute chart, but y'all know anything is possible, nothing is guaranteed. So where are the trouble places for Tesla? For some reason, we keep finding support here at 274.62 is a support area for us. That back to the upside, where are the trouble places? 275.31, that is the 5 EMA as of now. Y'all see we've been having trouble here around that 276 area. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again. 276.30, breaking that level. And see that line of the 20 EMA and a previous line that we had marked is right at the same place. That's important, right? So we definitely need to watch that. 276.27, 276.31, not far away. If we should break that level, 276.99, if we should break that area for Tesla, let's see, 277.40. I remember that, 277.40, because it seems like we came there and bounced. Yes. So 277.40 back to the upside is a resistance area. It was our support on yesterday. So if we should break that level, we could possibly have trouble again. 278.30, breaking that 278.37, not very far away, which is that 50 EMA. Now, if we should break that 278.37, the ATR trailing stop as of now, 278.80. Should we break that area, we could possibly have trouble again. 279.70, and breaking that brings us back to the 200 EMA around the 280.84 area. Now, can we continue declining? Absolutely. Tesla does what Tesla does, right? So losing the support here at 274.62, we can very well come back to this area of 270, let's see, 273.31. Yes, 273.31, breaking that 271.85. Breaking that 271.85 area, we could very well come back to around 269.35 and breaking that 267.54. If we lose that area, 257.64. Let's see where we are with Tesla. We could very well come back down to, did I say 257? I meant 267. Losing that area of 267. Yes. 267.54. I do apologize. I am in a different location recording this video. 268.54 and again 265.76. Let me go back to Tesla. Losing support at 269.35. We can come back to 267.54. Again at 265.76. And again down here at around the 263.60. So if you're trading Tesla, those are possible areas to the upside and to the downside. So we are now trying to get to the SPY. There we are. We closed at 563.51. Seems to be trading in a gathering spot for us as of now. Support we have here around the 558.32, back to the upside. Let's see where our trouble places for the SPY. Okay, so should we break above, let's say 559, we could possibly have trouble here again. 559.23, breaking that level. 553.52, again here at 559.84. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble. 560.32, breaking that level. 561.01, breaking that. 561.28, and should we break that level, 561.63. And as you can see, that is an area, the 22, yes, the 50 EMA is there, and it's a level that I have marked at the 561.69. So again, I like to see that. Should we break that area, 561 199 is the ATR trailing stop. We could possibly have trouble there for the SPY. So if that's something that you trade, I say trade carefully, right? So back to the downside, if we break under 558.32, we can find support here 557.50. Again here at 557.05, should we break that 556.79, breaking that level 556.35, and if we should break that 555.61, so 555.61, and if we should break that area 555.19, so 555.19, and breaking that 554.16. So again, I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale, because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are. And I say so often, y'all, in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. We are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 113.82. It too seems to be finding support here at around the 112.21 area. We're using this 200 EMA on the 30-minute chart as our support. Resistance as of now is at 112.37. As you can see, it's trying to break through this area, so we definitely need to watch this. Back to the upside, we could still possibly have trouble, let's say at the 112.48. Something stopped us here, so that 112.48 area, should we break that for NVIDIA, we could possibly have trouble. 112.65, again 112.73, 112.93, again at 113.08, breaking that level 113.34. Should we break that 113.47? That is the ATR trailing stop as of now. Should we break that level, we could still come back and have trouble around 113.77. So if you are trading NVIDIA, those are possible areas to the upside that we could possibly, have trouble. Now to the downside, losing this support at the 200 EMA around the 112.21 area, we can very well come back and try to retest this 112.02. Breaking that brings us back to, the 111.72. Breaking that 111.36. And should we break that level, 110.95. Breaking that brings us back to around 110.38. So under the 110.38, you see here there's a few layers of support. So I would say under the 110.38, we could very well come back down to the 109.87. However, there are a few layers that can stop us out in between. So if NVIDIA is something that you trade today, I say so often, y'all trade carefully. Now we are now looking at AMD. We closed at $100.59, and it too seems to be trying to, it found us some support here in this level. If you look, the body of the candle is here, the body of the candle is here, the wicks are still laying on that level, so that is going to be our support area. So $99.77 is a support area for us. Now back to the upside, if by chance we break above $100.14, as you can see, we're using the moving averages here as a resistance area. That, let's say the 50 EMA as of now, $100.34. Should we break that, $100.45, and you see price has been in this area here, so breaking that, we could possibly come back to around the $100.71 before we have trouble, and then there's going to be trouble again around $100.87 or 86 cents. So if by chance we break that, we could possibly come back to 101.17. Breaking that 101.17 for AMD, we have the ATR trailing stop at around 101.49. So we should break that level of 101.49. We could come back to 102.01. Now, those are resistance areas or trouble places, as I like to say, back to the upside for AMD. Now, let's look at the downside. If by chance we break under this 99.52, we could very well find support at around 99.27. Should we break that level, $99 is a support area, and breaking that brings us back to the 98.67. Again, that's around where the 200 EMA is, and y'all see that's an area that we had already marked as a support area. That's why I say so often it's so important to mark our support and our resistance areas. Now, should we lose the support here at 98.67, we could very well come back to 98.29. And if we should break that level for AMD, we can come back to around, let's say, 97.99. So if you're trading AMD today, those are kind of support and resistance areas that I would watch to the upside and to the downside. And I need to say, not financial advice, right? I will say that if we break this 99 97.99 area, we could very well come back to this 97.69 should we break that level, 97.09. So I say today, y'all, mark your levels, trade carefully, and once it goes against your why, make sure you have discipline to get out when it's time to get out. So let's go and look and see where we are with Meta today. It seems as if we close at 599.27. It seems like we found support here at this area around the 591.05. That is a support area for us, 591.05. Back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble, 592.98. Again at 594.29 area. There's a lot of resistance here at this 594.47, 594.14, 594.67. There's a few layers of resistance there. So if we break that level, we could very well, still come back to around 595.51 and possibly have trouble. So we definitely need to clear all of those levels, for a clear confirmation back to the upside. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble 596.86. That is the ATR trailing stop as of now. Should we break that level, we could very well come back to 599.71 and breaking that for Meta 601.57. And should we break that, 603.41. Now back to the downside under 590.81, we could very well come back to, and I can make that a little bit, yes, under this level here of 590.76, we can come back to 590.21, 589.08, 587.91, 587.05, 586.33, and if we should break that level, 584.63 could be a support area. And as you can see, there's a few layers here. So if we break that level, 583.95, and again here at 582.95, again, that is where our 200 EMA is coming to a previous area that we had marked. So again, it is very important that we mark those support and resistance areas. Let me see if we have any, yes, an inside day candle. I did see SLV as an inside day candle, and that, yes. So if by chance, let me get to the upside, and with inside day candles, I just use it to build our watch list, and it kind of helps us know where possible targets are to the upside and to the downside. And as you can see, SLV has clearly reached that target and exceeded that target to the upside. So the trigger to the upside was 29.56, 29.65 was the target. To the downside, under 29.25 downside target would have been 29.04. So let's see if we can go and see how much SLV normally moves on a daily basis, which is the ATR. So that's normally 56 cents. So it has moved somewhat today. So if that's something that you trade, I say trade carefully. It's already made a high. We closed at $29.48. We've made a high thus far at $30.19. So again, y'all, I say trade carefully. I say so often, y'all, there's so many different ways to trade the market. This is what I see when I look at the market. There's so many ways to make money in the market, and what's challenging is trying to find a strategy that works best for you. So I pray that hope that everyone have an amazing day today, an awesome day today. Again, if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all, because we learn and we grow together. And I need to remind you again that make sure you set your stop losses or whatever it is that you choose to use. Make sure you have the discipline to execute that, y'all. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.